Yo, what is going on YouTube? I'm your host Biscuits and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be customizing the Dinka Chavos V6. So the Chavos V6 is based on a 9th generation Honda Accord. I'm not really sure why Rockstar brought this vehicle in. I don't think anyone was asking for this vehicle, but I have a suspicion that this is going to be one of the NPC cars in GTA 6, so Rockstar just went ahead and ported it over to GTA Online. So without further ado, let's hop in here and get to customizing. So the Dinka Chavos V6 is in the sedans class. And one thing to note before we get started, you are able to install a missile lock-on jammer on this vehicle at your agency for $400,000. Back to the customization, starting off with the armor and the brakes. Engine all the way up, exhaust. So we have muffler tip exhaust, we have a rounded bore, we have an octagon, the hot ring, and the twin rounded bore. I guess let's go for the hot ring exhaust. The grille. Okay, so we have chrome vent, we got a race, we have the ridged and the horizontal. Nice. Okay, so the horizontal grille, that looks spot on to like an OE. However, I think let's go for the race grille. I like that the race grille also has like its own custom emblem. If you look at the other options, it just has a regular emblem, but then the race grille has like a unique emblem going on. So let's throw that on. Hood. Okay, so we have a secondary carbon. We have a vented hood, another secondary vented carbon, center vented, same thing but in secondary and carbon. We have the race vented and secondary and carbon as well. The rally package, in case you want to off-road and rally your Honda Accord. That makes sense. Secondary rally, carbon, and we have the Restomod hood. Let's go for the carbon stock hood. For the headlights are fine as is. I will say I really like the DRL, the daily running lights, the LED strips underneath the actual headlights. That looks very, very clean. I like that look. Underglow. Yeah, let's put some underglow on it, and we'll come back for a color. Livery. Okay, so we have a white skirt stripes. We have the white double stripes. A racing livery. Another racing. I don't know what the heck that is. More racing, another weird livery. Okay. Some more racing, another racing, and of course, gotta have the Princess Robot Bubblegum. Very fitting for a Honda, I must say. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to go with the only livery that looks decent, and that's gonna be the white double stripes. Okay, do some window louvers on a Honda Accord. Why? I don't know, in case you want to. Okay, nope, definitely not doing those. Mirrors. Okay, so we have secondary, we have race, secondary race, and the carbon race. Let's just go for the race mirrors. And for the plate, we'll go custom biscuits, of course. Rear diffuser. Okay, nice. We got plastic because I know everyone wants to throw on a plastic diffuser on their Honda Accord. Carbon, secondary. We have the carbon lipped with the trim. Plastic race, carbon race diffuser, and a secondary. And then you also have a carbon race with the trim. We also have plastic competition, same thing in carbon. We have the same thing but in secondary. And we also have the same thing but with the secondary trim. We have a utility bumper, the carbon utility, secondary, the heavy duty bumper, carbon heavy duty secondary and the carbon heavy duty with the trim. I want to go for the carbon race with the trim so we can get that secondary color on there. Respray, let's do that very last. Side louvers. All right, we got carbon, we got normal, we have carbon aggressive and normal aggressive. All right, those do not belong on a Honda Accord, so we'll skip those. Side skirts. Okay, plastic, carbon, secondary, and the carbon with the trim. And then another plastic race, carbon, secondary, plastic wing, carbon wing. You can't even see that. How was that an option for a side skirt? I don't understand these side skirt options. They literally make no sense. Carbon winged with the trim, plastic with the arrow, carbon and secondary, plastic extended, carbon extended, finally a carbon with a trim option. There's 20 different options, but they all look like relatively the same. Okay, I guess we'll go for the carbon sidebars with the trim. Splitters. So we have plastic, carbon, secondary, and carbon with the secondary trim option. We have another splitter option with some brackets. We can do that in carbon, secondary, or with the secondary trim. So got a plastic competition race, carbon, secondary, and a carbon with the secondary trim. We got the plastic resto mod rally. We also have that in carbon, secondary, and with the secondary trim. A plastic vented race splitter. We have carbon vented, the secondary, and a carbon vented race with secondary trim. We also got the plastic vented, carbon vented, secondary, and the carbon vented with the trim. Let's just go for the carbon lip splitter with the secondary trim. Spoiler. All right, so we have a plastic ducktail, carbon, secondary, and plastic cutout. So we have a carbon cutout, secondary cutout. Here comes the wing options. We have carbon sport with the trim. We have a secondary sport and a carbon trunk wing. Oh man, that is massive. Okay, so and then same thing, but it gives you chrome brackets, but they have like the secondary color somewhere in there, I guess. We also have the secondary trunk wing. We have a carbon GT wing. Same thing, but with the trim. We have a carbon race. The carbon race with the trim. We have a secondary race wing. All right, let's go for the carbon ducktail spoiler and sun strips. We have plastic, primary, or secondary. Suspension, we are absolutely slamming this thing all the way down. Transmission, we'll go race, and turbo, of course. Wheels, we'll come right back to those. Windows. All right, so let's go for some limo tint and black out the windows. Wheels. All right, for the wheels, I'm thinking these Giga Mesh. I definitely want a wheel that has a chrome lip because if you can see, we have chrome by default on the grille. We have chrome on the door handles. We have chrome on the trunk, as well as the muffler tips. So we have chrome that we cannot get rid of. So let's go ahead and complement that chrome with some wheels that have a chrome lip. And wheel color, let's go black. We may go back and change that, but I think black is probably going to be the right choice of color. And bulletproof tires, of course. Respray. So we have a primary color. And we also have a secondary color. And as you can see, the secondary is strictly just the secondary options that I opted for. So the front lip, the side skirt, and the rear diffuser. I don't see anything changing in the interior. For a primary, I think I'm going to go for this metallic black steel. We'll just do the secondary in Formula Red. So it's kind of a low-key, like Accord Type R wannabe build. Let's go back to the underglow. Okay, so the underglow is broken on this car. The second half, the back half of the side skirt, there's no lighting underneath it. That's very strange. I've never seen that before, where the underglow lighting doesn't fully fill out underneath the side skirts. But yeah, we'll make it red to match up with our secondary color choice. Okay, I believe that is all the options. Let's go ahead and get this outside so we can do a sound test and some first driving impressions. All right, and here is the Dinka Chavos V6 outside and fully tricked out. So the very first thing that caught my eye is the wheel fitment. And it's like perfect. It's almost like a tiny bit of poke. It looks really, really good, honestly. Like the wheels are perfectly flush. That's something that is kind of few and far between in this game. A lot of times when you put aftermarket wheels on cars and lower them all the way down in this game, the wheels will either be like sunken in or they won't look like 100%, but Rockstar got it right. Like those wheels, the fitment is pretty much perfect. I wish we could lower this vehicle down maybe like one more click, so just have the tread tucking. All right, so now that we're in the sunlight, you can see the carbon fiber pattern I'm talking about. If you look at the lip, it's like the pattern is enlarged, but then you get to the hood and it's like normal. Definitely kind of interesting look. And then also the hood not like having a gloss finish. It's like a carbon fiber satin or even a matte. I'm not 100% about this diffuser. It looks kind of off with this point that's like angled in right here. It almost looks like I hit something and like turned too sharply and it like bent the end of the diffuser in. I definitely like the lip spoiler, carbon fiber lip spoiler. That's very nice. Let's get all the doors open and get a closer look at everything. Starting off underneath the hood at the engine model. That's pretty pathetic. That engine model, they just copy and pasted something and threw it in here and called it good. Okay, like even the air intake looks like pixelated and off. Like somebody half-assed the engine model for sure. Coming around here to the front passenger side, as you can see, some normal, boring ass seats. Okay, and the back seat is just a black hole of an abyss, I guess. There's like no texture here, so that's weird. Same thing for the trunk. It's just black hole abyss. You can't see anything. Shining my flashlight in there and it doesn't even do anything. Okay. All right, and back over here again with the black abyss back seat. And then coming around here to the driver's side, this interior is definitely reused. There's nothing special about this interior. I cannot see any pedals, so I cannot tell you if there are 3 pedals or 2 pedals. I don't know if this is a manual or an automatic. Yeah, the interior of this car is very, very strange. I don't understand it. All right, let's go ahead and give it some gas and do that sound test. Nice. It actually sounds pretty good. I'm surprised. I figured they would have gave this car like a little 4-cylinder exhaust note, but they didn't. They kind of gave it like a V6 or almost even like an inline 6 exhaust note. First thing is first, we got to check the drivetrain out. Okay, that is very surprising. The Chavos V6 is rear-wheel drive. That's very strange. Is this the first Dinka in GTA Online that is rear-wheel drive? I think it may be. That's crazy. And of course, it is starting to rain. The Chavos V6 has a top speed of 115 miles per hour, which is almost pathetic for a sedan. That's actually quite slow. However, this vehicle does kind of make up for that with its handling. This car is extremely grippy. It's very responsive. So I am seeing a little bit of understeer going on when cornering, which is very surprising for a rear-wheel drive car. Normally it's the opposite. If it's rear-wheel drive, you have oversteer, and front-wheel drive gives you understeer. But however, this Honda Accord, they made it rear-wheel drive, but they also gave it understeer. Okay, I don't know. That's just Rockstar logic for you. I don't know. But with this vehicle being super grippy and very responsive, It is actually one of the new fastest sedans for circuit racing. So if you're doing a circuit race and it's very technical, tight, twisty turns, not very many straightaways, this car is probably going to be a good option to use in the sedans class for racing. I also wanted to point out that the fog lights do work. They are functional. I love the wheel fitment. The wheel fitment on this car is perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and try a brake test now that we are at top speed. And brake. Whoa. Okay, wow, this thing stops on a dime. Yeah, the braking is quite impressive, especially considering it is raining right now. I know it's only partially raining, but still, that is pretty impressive for how fast this thing stopped. Alrighty guys, so there you have it, the Dinka Chavos V6. So if you are a Honda fan in real life, or if you are looking just to pick up one of the fastest sedans for circuit racing, then yes, absolutely pick up the Chavos V6. I will go ahead and wrap the video up here. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like. Also consider subscribing if you are new to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Please stay safe, and I will catch you all on the next video. Peace out.